feel like I've waited long enough to start. I know it's a couple minutes early, but I think that's okay. It's not like I'm on a real schedule or anything anyway. This is all just for fun. Gonna turn the mic up a little bit. There we go. Okay, for the couple people tuned in right now, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to start from legitimate scratch tonight and make a patch. This isn't how I normally do it. I normally start with something so I can at least feel like it's not going to be a total train wreck in the end. But this time, because I spent all day up until about 10 minutes ago editing video, I'm going to just start from scratch and see where we get to. This is sort of the secret release party for the scary modules. So Filter of Crows, the Bat, and the Wolf. I put everything up and turned everything on, so it's all available if you guys want it. But it's really just the finish line for me, so I'm going to celebrate tonight by having a little sort of unscripted live stream here, and then tomorrow I'm going to have maybe a little bit more legitimate live stream where I sort of run through these in detail and talk about them a little bit more. But tonight is really just, hey, let's make a cool patch or a terrible patch or some sort of patch and take it from there. Holy mackerel. So let's do it. The only thing I have going on right now is I have a folded wave going into the mixer. I just wanted to see if I had everything plugged in. And apparently I do. So we're going to turn this back down. And the way I'm going to start this patch is we're going to start by doing all the sort of behind the scenes plumbing. We're going to do all the clocks. Because you need a clock to get this stuff going. So that is what we're going to do. I'm going to have one of the Bengal Tigers be the main clock. And it might as well be this one right here, because it's the closest to the malt. I love these new little short noodles we've got. These are the shortest ones we've ever had. I thought when we ordered them, I was a little concerned. I'm like, these might be a little too short, but no, they're awesome. Totally awesome. What do I know? So far we have, this is going to be the main clock, and then we have this 3 snakes lined up, and we're also going to clock this second sequencer over here. And I'm going to clock the gibbons. I don't normally clock everything, but since we're doing it, we could do it. Another shorty here. There we go. These should all be magically in sync now. Now, of course, these guys, because they have sort of extremely beta firmware on them, every time you turn them on, they forget where they are and they think it's the first time they've ever done anything. So I now have to go through and tell them that it's an external clock. Alright, everything should be in sync, one way or another. Set the clock divisions of these gibbons way down. They can get a little out of hand. Hello everybody, by the way. Hello Bill. Hello Stefan. Numerous. Alani. Jeff. It's good to see everybody in the chat room. Thank you for tuning in or clicking in. Doing whatever people do these days. I think we should do something a little percussive and a little rhythm based, because I did just clock a bunch of sequencers here, so I feel like it should have something to do with it. So let's see what we can do. And we're going to turn these sequencers on. Maybe. This is why I normally start on my own, but that's all right. Oh, I see. Maybe if we patch into the clock output, we can get a sequence. There we go. I'm not immune to making really stupid mistakes. In fact, I'm very good at it. Alright, so we're going to take our first sequence here from the snakes. It's just a gate sequence, and we're going to send it into the Dynamics controller BAT. We'll have that in low-pass gate mode. I have a very weird angle on the system tonight, so see how this goes. I'm going to come out of that, and we will go into, I guess, channel 2 here on the mixer. Alright, now let's get a sound going through there. And we could use something... Let's use the binary output of local parks. Yeah, that's weird. I guess that's all right. I didn't patch in any external reverb. I can turn that down now. I forgot to add a reverb. Should I add an external reverb, or should I just run it with what I got here? I don't really have a whole lot of effects in this case. In fact, I have 3 delays, and that's it. I'm not used to being that dry. I am going to patch a reverb. which is going to take me a minute because I have to stand up. So pardon me 1 second. All right, hopefully these cables are long enough. Nope. Okay, hopefully one or two of these are long enough. Yeah, these are the ones. I've been running around like crazy. I spent last week at Sweetwater, and I haven't had a chance to unpack anything. So, because of that, I have stuff just all over the place down here. Well, I have one. I still need one more. Oh, that's right. You're right, Herman. I have the local florist, the Cascading Florist. I guess I have plenty. Okay, this should be good. Yeah. Okay. We're going to use the MIDI Verb 2 because that's what I plugged in. Let's see what we can do here. We will take, you know what, I think we should run this through filter first. Let's take this. There we go. That sounds all right. That's some sort of weird hi-hatty thing. That's all right. There's a kick. Yes, we have the noodles back in stock. They took a long time to to make them, but we made a lot of them, so it's a good thing. I guess if you're in the mood for noodles. Whoops. Sorry about that. All right, so the kick is the Llama, and the weird percussion-y sound is the Cascading Florist, or I'm sorry, the Local Parks through a filter and the dynamics. Let's see what we can do to make this a little more interesting. We can modulate the decay time a little bit. If we patch it into the right jack. That's kind of weird. It's a little juicy. That's okay. Take our narwhal here. This will be some sort of cymbal sound. I don't know what it's going to sound like when we patch it in, but we'll find out. I don't know if that needs to go through a filter. I think we're okay with this one. Yeah, that's all right. Whatever sound was on there is good for me. I think what we could do with this sort of squishy, watery sound is we can add some randomness to it, so it's not always the same pattern. A little bit of chance. That'll be nice. That's all right. I like that. So now I'm going to build some sort of bass sound. So we're coming out of the sine wave on the Captain Big O. We're going to start the sine wave. We'll see where we end up. But I'm going to go through a filter of crows. And then we're going to use the wolf over here as a VCA. I'm going to go into channel 3 of the mixer here. We'll use the ADSR from this first function junction. And this is a super, I don't know what, again, no idea what sound's going to come out, but we'll see. Got going on. That's all right. That's what I want right there. So we have that deep sub bass. Hopefully that comes across on YouTube. And I can use the woof to add just a little bit of bite to it. I'm a big fan of the narwhal as well. I think it sounds really, really nice. Nice enough. I feel like we should give it a little bit of modulation here. I think this came together pretty fast, and I think it sounds pretty good, which is really great, because today was one of those days where I was just thinking all day. I had so much to do, and the finish line was I got to hang out and make a patch, and I've been looking forward to this since I went to bed last night, because I knew what I had for a marathon today. So this is awesome. It makes me smile. Thank you everybody for hanging out with me. Act for Divot. The hat sound is coming from the narwhal up here, which is an unreleased cymbal module. I think it sounds good just about everywhere. I have my crow right next to it because I thought, the drums and the crow, because that's the Herman way to do it. Herman Pearl loves to he has a crow after every one of the drums in his modular drum machine. And it makes sense because it adds a lot. I'm not using it right now, but it's there in a thankful gesture to Herman. So I think now we need some sort of pitchy random thing for the highs. So let's see where we can get that from. I think it can be, we'll go a random CV into the linear FM of this second big O here. take a gate out of this snakes, and I'll start with something super simple, but we'll end up randomizing it. So I can even do that right off the bat. We can start with, we'll just pick a interesting Euclidean pattern here. We'll start with that and then randomize it from there. But that's a good place to start, I think. Sure. And this Big O already had a patch cable patched into the fold output, so I feel like that's the one we should use. And it should absolutely go into the Cascading Florist. Stefan, I did finish the elephant panel. And it's awesome. Herman's seen it, I think. I emailed it to somebody the other day. They were asking about it. I'm sorry, I can't remember who it was. Now, I have no idea what's going to come out of this Cascading Florist, so this could get weird real fast. Okay, I'm not actually starting to see the error in my patching here. I didn't run Big O through a VCA. So we're going to use this second wolf over here. Patch that into the florist. And we'll play with the EQ on this one once we get everything bouncing around here. So we'll take out our function generator that we have the Euclidean pattern going on. I feel like I need some more FM. There we go. Okay, Bill, yes, it was you. I sent the elephant to. That is the elephant in the room. So the Cascading Florist is two local florists with a warp circuit in the middle of them. And all the switches over here are every possible feedback path. And you have two options. You have more feedback or less feedback, and in the middle is no feedback using that feedback path. So the idea, I wanted something that you could do this with and create these incredibly unstable patterns. Take our triangle. All right, now let's give the sound some movement here. I think what we need to do is pass it through a delay. And then we have to give the sound itself some movement. So we will modulate the decay length, and we use another random here. And then we also have to do something with this wave folder to give it some life. I think that we could just run through this second triangle wave LFO over here. Really, really, really slow. That way we can drop it below. So it basically turns off every now and then it'll just poke its head up and doing something interesting. Way better than the always on static sound. And what else we could do, because we created that Euclidean pattern using snakes to drive the envelope that we're triggering it with, we could then go through and randomize that as well. That will give us some nice stuff. I think. No? All right. City Anvil says the gray and black panels, thumbs up. Thank you very much. I like them. If you end up reading or watching the video for these, I don't know where I put it, to be honest with you. I may have just written it and deleted it, which is something I do sometimes too. The idea with these panels, all of these Safari panels, is they're all experiments. So not only are we experimenting with circuitry, but we're also experimenting with silk screening and trying to get better at it. For a long time, we used the metal photo process. I think I have one metal photo module left, and it's this mult in the upper right-hand corner here. And it was a very static process. We did that for 8 years or so, and we knew how to do it, and we knew how to design for it. But when we moved to silk screening then, it was an entirely new process for us. So the Safari modules are going to keep getting more and more complex on the panel side, just because we're getting better and better at it. We're getting better at matching colors, and for a long time I strayed away from using color at all because I just never really saw it. I'm not color blind, but it just didn't click with me. And you can even see with like the voltage lab, it's gray, black. So to work with color is, it's also part of this experiment, and it's been super fun and really interesting as I get deeper and deeper into this, every part of it. So that's an interesting patch we got going on there. What if we give it a little bit of fast exponential modulation? It's like a... Let's see if we can do this. Too much. What if I flip the FMs? It's tough to get a subtle modulation from the exponential FM. So if I do it with the linear, I'm trying to get almost like a tremolo sound out of it. Yeah, that works. Yeah, the florist was... I can't remember why I drew up the flower panel. I think it was springtime maybe, and I just wanted a panel with a flower on it. Made me smile. And so the Cascading Florist is obviously their teammates, so I made those the same. And then the local parks didn't... You know, this could have easily been a Safari module, but it just didn't... I felt like it didn't need an animal on it. And since I was going to do the Cascading Florist, I thought, well, these will make a good team, and then that'll be a good monthly release for later down in the year as we get these closer to the finish line. But both of these are very prototypey at this point. But prototype is certainly okay because that's how you figure things out, solve problems. I feel like they would be a bit further along, but it's just been crazy bananas at Pittsburgh Modular recently. Trying to get ready for Super Booth, get ready for NAMM, try to learn how to leave my house again. It's been interesting. There's a bug in... I'm not sure if I could do anything... I was going to say less professional, but I'm streaming weird music on the internet. I feel like this is fine. There's a bug in Snakes that if a couple certain conditions are met, it freezes. And this one met those conditions. It's happy again. So when that happens, you either have to reboot the system, the entire modular, or you have to unplug it and plug it back in. Probably not a feature that we want going out into the production modules, but for the beta firmware, it's fine. And now we can make more drum sounds. So let's do a polar bear. polar bear sounds like through a self-oscillating local florist. Let's see. Is it a bad thing just to plug power ribbons like that? I thought it wasn't safe for some reason, although perhaps safe for beta modules. I'm not going to recommend anyone does it. I've made mistakes over the years and blown up some modules. These modules are reverse polarity protected. You can't plug them. If you plug them in backwards, they're fine. They just won't turn on. I'm comfortable plugging and unplugging modules while the system's going on, just because I know what's going on under the hood. If you're comfortable doing it, and you plug something in backwards, you can cause some damage. That's a true thing. And the cardinal, soon to be known as the elephant. Because you can just do that. You can change animals from one animal to another. And it's totally fine. Let's use the bat. But we use it, instead of using it as a low-pass gate, we can use it as a filter. And now I see the error in my ways. So I'm going to have to I've run out of mixer spots down here on my mixer, so what I'm doing is I have a little mixer, a 4-channel stereo mixer up here that I'm going to use. I'm just going to use the left side though as a little sub mixer for the drums. And I feel like that crazy sound needs some delay really, really badly. So I have one delay left in the voltage lab over here. And we'll go back in. This mixer has two modes. It's a stereo. Well, it's a mono input mixer, but you have pan pots, so you have stereo output. But you also have, there's two different modes. You can run it as a standard mixer, which would be down, and this would be using the same mixer circuit we use in, say, the 2+2 mixer. But up, we added this really nice sounding soft compression circuit that just glues it all together in a very mellow kind of way. I'm a fan. use, that's our kick. We don't want to use our kick. But we can certainly take our hats here, run them into channel 2. Stefan wants to know what happens when you put noise through a flamingo. Damn it, there's only one way to find out. I'm running out of things, but we will take the noise from the voltage lab through the flamingo. And then take the output of that and we'll run that through one of the dynamics controllers on the voltage lab, which are essentially the same as the dynamics controller bats. The dynamics control bat it's based on the Voltage Lab 2 version, so there's a few tweaks to it. I think it sounds a little bit better, a little bit deeper, but I think at this point a lot of this stuff only Nicol and I can hear. Now we will trigger that with, I've run out of things. I guess we'll use the sequencer. We'll just turn a bunch of steps off. I don't think, because of the nature of the noise, I don't think we're going to get much out of the flamingo, because it's essentially rectifying a random waveform. But what we can do is take the output of the primary oscillator and modulate that with some noise. And then I guess because now we have an oscillator in there, we can use the pitch. have to get the flamingos moving here a little bit. We can use... Oh, I just lost it. There we go. I've run out of long patch cables. So what I end up doing that is looking for unnecessarily long patch cables and subbing them out as I go along. We'll get the sort of pseudo-random out of... No, we'll use the function generator. We'll just create an LFO with it. Put it into loop mode. Set it to about a triangle in the curve. Let it do its thing. Take our sequencer, turn some random on. I think that sounds pretty good. That's a good patch for an hour's worth of work. I think it sounds nice. It's certainly weird. I'm not sure how I feel about the last sound we added. Maybe that's not a... They can't all be winners, I guess. We'll drop that one. I always sort of feel that so all the pitches on the sequencer now are set to the same, but I have the chance of random turned up way high, so there's a good chance that they are going to sort of change and evolve over time. So what I'm going to do is take this guy out of here, put it in here. Take this is my sequencer gate. We'll run that into the pluck. We'll try this a different way. Let's come out of the flamingo. We'll find my output. There we go. Turn the frequency up on that super high. Hermit says it might be cool at some point soon to solo each sound one at a time. Okay. And Kara says, so many PM modules that I wish were still available. Believe it or not, if you go to Analog Haven, you can probably find them. Sean is a fantastic time capsule and a lot of really cool old modules that are still available, new old stock from his shop. So Analog Haven, it's certainly worth checking. So to Herman's point here, let's go ahead and drop everything down and see what we have. So this is our kick drum. That's the Llama, and it's just the kick drum. That's all it is. There's nothing else going on with that. So then we have this second sound, which I have to follow these back to see exactly what everything was. This was the first sound we made. That Local Parks sort of bleepy sound, which now that I hear it, I feel like it needs some sort of pitch modulation. We'll steal that from here. Put it in the FM. And then we have, this is the bass line from this big O over here, going into this filter, which isn't doing anything. It's wide open. It's a waste of a module right now. And that's going into the Wolf, which is adding a little bit of fuzz to it, and then into the mixer. And then we have, this is that last sound we were working on. This is the primary oscillator from the Voltage Lab through the Flamingo. And we have the ghosty sound. This is the sound that was passing through the Cascading Florist. So this is the second Captain Big O with a bunch of randomized stuff going on. You have the wave folder randomized. You have the Cascading Florist sort of hauntingly self-oscillating. So if I turn... See, this is what the Cascading Florist does. That's kind of what I wanted the module to do, and it does it great. So that's... And then it's going into the mixer from there. And then we have... This is the drum bus. So these are the three sounds we have here. This is the cymbal sound coming out of the narwhal. This is the snare drum sound, which I turned the snares super short, and then it's running through a local florist acting almost like a flanger. And then the space sound is the cardinal percussion sound through a delay. Clearly. And using, I'm not even sure why, using the dynamics controller as a filter. But it's wide open again, so there's zero reason for it to do that. So if we just patch this into here, it'll sound exactly the same. And we save a long patch cable. Make sure we have plenty of the MIDI Verb 2 going on there. How much HP is the Bengal Tiger sequencer? It is 24 HP. Playing with the hi-hats now, we can use the snakes, if I can get my hands in here, to add some ratchets. If I'm patching the correct one. No, not at all. How about we do it on this one? There we go. That's nice. Bass is the sign from Captain Big O. And I found this the other day when I was goofing around on a little system that I had built up. Sine wave from Captain Big O run through the Woofers of ECA with just a touch of overdrive, or a touch of, not even overdrive, just a little grit to it. The Wolf is really good at simulating those old school mixing boards that just have a little bit of something on them. And I think that's all you need for that. It reminds me of all those old Orb albums. cussing down Create Audio. I gotta approve it every time you do. Which I'll happy to do. See, now I'm kind of happy with these sounds, but I want the other ones to be something else. And I don't know what that something else is. There we go. The cardinal is a cardinal. Sorry. I think I'm punch drunk. Can't remember where the sequence is coming from. Okay. I think we can set up some randomness here and just let it tweet away. Gotta watch the frequency. The only problem with this is the frequency of the cardinal is right at the absolute limit of what this delay is gonna pay any attention to. Nicely done, Jonas. I really appreciate it. That's very kind of you. I'm sure you will enjoy them thoroughly. I certainly hope you do. And thank you to everybody else. If you're watching the stream and you went and you ordered a couple of these modules, I really appreciate it. This batch of modules, in particular, are some of our proudest moments as experimenters and circuit designers. And it's been an absolute pleasure to work on these, to get them to this point, to share them with you guys. A lot of these circuits are, well, all these circuits are bits and pieces of other things, but these are just sort of like, this is the raw sound. Like, the filter of crows is the sound of that filter. It's what that filter should have always sounded like. And Dynamics Controller Bat is kind of, I was talking to Creed earlier about this. It is kind of the sound of Pittsburgh Modular, which is ironic because it's only been available in the Voltage Lab, and we didn't, not very many people have a Voltage Lab. So to finally get this module, Dynamics Controller Bat, out there so people can hear this amazing sound is exciting. And the Wolf is a tiny piece of a ridiculous puzzle that will come later. But should I change the bass line? When you guys use sequencers, when I play sequencers, I don't really, I just kind of slide the knobs. I'm not precious about it. I feel like they're a performance tool. You just dig in. Now, the Bengal Tiger, they are quantized, and you can set the key. I think they're set to C major right now, but you can set the key so it makes it, you're not going to get a bad note, which is the reason I put that in there is because this is how I like to use it. I like to just kind of throw the faders and hope and know that it's going to get somewhere that's going to be musical. And it usually, you know, it usually is. So it's working. The Bengal Tiger, of course, is the sort of testing grounds for the Voltage Lab 2 sequencer. So all the ridiculous features that this has, stuff that I haven't even gone into in the videos, the Voltage Lab 2 has them plus. And in a much, much more user-friendly size and workspace. But regardless. Me Want Good Music says Function Junction is one fun module. I agree. Fun is the first word in its name. Kara says, I think that Pittsburgh Modular is among the most innovative Euro companies out there. Anything you get from them is pure good stuff. Thank you a lot. I don't take compliments very well, but I kind of look at it as a compliment to the team. I do my little part, but people like Michael Johnson, Perry Willig, Ross, they all do amazing, amazing work. They're a bit more behind the scenes, but nonetheless important for what we're doing. I'm just the one that you get to see my big dumb face all the time. That said, Michael Johnson and I made an unbelievably fun video for a instrument we have coming out with Create Audio at Super Booth next week. So we're going to start, this is important, we're going to start teasing it on the Create Audio YouTube page on Wednesday. So make sure you subscribe to the Create Audio YouTube page because the teasers and the video are going to be well worth the subscription. It's me and Michael at our absolute most ridiculous. The video is awesome. The instrument, not going to talk about it. Peter doesn't like when I do that. It's pretty good too. But anyway, so go to Create Audio's YouTube and subscribe to that. It's going to be worth it. We have a couple cool teasers, and then Super Booth will be the reveal. It's going to be cool. Will the VL be freeze? Guessing on that one. Sorry. Will the VL2 sequencer be available as its own module? Not initially. Initially, the VL2 module and I almost said the name of the sequencer. The sequencer will be available as one instrument in a case. will Safari modules take a bit of a back seat while y'all do Super Booth stuff? Well, Super Booth, we've been doing Super Booth stuff for the last 2 years. The scary modules that we put out today, tomorrow really, this is all secret. This is sort of the secret pre-show for all my YouTube friends. They are the last modules we have in stock ready to go. When we did the kick and the snare, we already had these sort of ready to go, but we didn't want to do them all at once. So these are the last ones we have boxed up, ready to ship. We do have modules in production, though, that we should have, probably by the time we get back from Super Booth, we will have the modules, and then however long it takes to get the panels finished, and the knobs finished. And those are the other 2 drum modules, and maybe one other module. But then we also have a bunch that are ready to go to production. So they're definitely stacked up. So it's not really an issue of, is Super Booth and NAMM going to get in the way of this stuff? It really comes down to, we had a vague release plan for this stuff, and we're vaguely sticking to it. Because even in the best of times when we don't have trade shows, and I'm not running around to Sweetwater and all these fun things, we only have so much bandwidth at the shop. We do have 2 new cases coming out sooner than later as well. They are desktop cases. They're fucking huge. One of them is 744 HP. So, like, these are giant things. So that's something else that's going to suck away some of the bandwidth from Safari. We're not going to do a Safari launch the same month that we do the case launch, or certainly not the same week that we do a case launch, because it is literally Ross putting all this stuff and shipping it out. So in order to keep him sane, we're going to break stuff up. But we do have a ton of stuff coming out this year, not to mention all this stuff through Create, which there will be something. Obviously, there's something in Super Booth, and maybe something at NAMM. I don't know. David says the Tiger panel is killer. Thank you very much. The Tiger panel is dark, but I'm a fan. Yes, Create. I am Spartacus. I have seen that movie. I was going to stop at 11, but there's a bunch of people hanging out, and I'm having a good time, so I'm going to keep going. As soon as I said that, the viewers dropped. They plummeted. Kevin asks, y'all hiring for help? No, we're not, unfortunately. Cascading Florist reminds create audio of old Star Trek. Gonna take their word for that. Oh, this is a great question. Yotis asks, is the Filter of Crows panel easier to see and read than the OG Crow? I have the OG Crow right here, and as you can see in the video, you can't see or read anything on it. And then I have Filter of Crows right here, and you can see it. And although it doesn't come across in video, and it's tough to photograph as well, but you actually can see the text this time. And the reason for that is Crow, the black on black printing was a joke, like an inside joke to me. I've wanted to do that for 10 years. And I thought it sort of fit the mood of the module, but also I felt like because there was so few controls on it and so few jacks that I could get away with it and it wouldn't drive people too crazy. Because there's just a couple jacks and a couple knobs. You're gonna figure it out pretty fast. Excuse me. Filter of Crows, all the other modules, you can't do that. They're too big. There's too much going on. They're too complex. So you do have to have printing that walks you through it a little bit. So, although it was funny for the Crow, and I think it looks beautiful, and it works really well for what the module is, you can actually read these modules. There are some good pictures up on the website, Bill, where you can see the head-on panels. It doesn't come across, but if you look at some of the... Actually, Create took the nice pictures of the scary modules. If you look at those pictures, you can see it really well. See you, Herman. By the way, anyone that's going to Super Booth this year will be at Super Booth. We'll be outside in the tent area in the Create booth, and Herman will be with me. He'll be helping me demo some synths and just generally enjoying Berlin. So if you're there, you want to say hi to Herman, please stop by our booth. He's a good chat. Freezehouse, do you have any plans for a deep dive on Bengal Tiger's features once the firmware is completed? Absolutely. There'll be deep dive, there'll be a manual, but I'm gonna walk through the whole thing, just sort of explain it, because it has some really interesting bits to it. Interesting to me, anyway. And certainly I will. And everything on the sequencer is actually implemented, but there's a couple bugs here and there. There's some UI bugs. When you switch the LEDs, they're showing you something else. Sometimes they don't switch back, that kind of thing. Just have to iron out the problems. Are all the scary modules 8 HP? Yes. These are all 8 HP. The drums are 6. think this sound is played out as long as it can play. Change the bass line. Misplaced the second sound. Wow, that's a great sound. Let's turn down the birds. This is the binary ring mod coming out of the local parks, running through a filter and all sorts of stuff. But boy, it has a lot of depth to it. It sounds really good. Yes, the cardinal going to be elephant is 8 HP, where the other drums are 6. You're right. It just wouldn't fit. No, Bill, that never even occurred to me. You're right. The elephant, it should be the largest drum. I like the combination of the crows into the bat because you can have double resonance. It's just such a weird concept. Because the resonance and the dynamics controller isn't... it's certainly not as strong as it is on the crow, and it's not meant to be an overwhelming resonance. What it's really meant to be is just... if you think of it like a balloon, it's just inflate the balloon a little bit. Just add a little bit more to the sound. Just add a little bit more depth to it. I'm sorry, I can't even... There's no way I'm going to pronounce that. What is the reverb in the chain? Apologize, I didn't even try to pronounce your name. It's a Alesis MIDI Verb 2. It's on the rack to that side of me, which you can't see at all. Karis Riley says, Pittsburgh Modular rules, but you have to jump on it when they're available. So many cool modules that were limited release. Yeah, it's not... It's not... it allows us to get all this stuff out there. What we will have, though, is all of our instruments, all the synthesizers, they're going to be available for a long time, in the same way that the SV1 was available for years and years. The modules are really just a way for us to experiment and play with this stuff to make sure that we get it exactly how we want it for the instruments. But what that means is everyone then sort of gets in on the secret a little bit. You can get in early. You could get Dynamics Controller BAT. You then have the Dynamics. You have that core sound in the Voltage Lab 2 already. Driving that bass a little bit. And you can always drive it a little bit, and if you don't want those upper harmonics that you get, you can always roll them off with the high shelf. It's almost like cheating. You get the beef up that bass, but you don't lose anything. Nicol, which is awesome because that's really close to my last name, asked, will there be a bundle deal? No. We did the bundle deal for the first round, and it ended up being a lot more work for us than we thought it was going to be. It just didn't make sense. So, because everything is an experiment with this stuff, we are not going to do it. Rolled off the attack a little bit on the ADSR to make sure this is nice and round. And pull back on the drive, get more of that sine. I think that's it. That's good. Ed, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I really do. I'm very happy. Matthew, I'm very happy with the snare. The idea with the kick and the snare, the cymbal, with those three drums specifically, was to do almost analog physical modeling, where we wanted to create something new that sounded like the real instrument, but you know, you could run it at audio rate, or you can get outside of that zone. But I wanted the sound that was sort of in my head and wasn't the same 808 and 909s that I've heard my whole life. And I absolutely am in love with these drum sounds. Thanks for hanging out, Yodas. I appreciate it. The Llama kick drum is based on, for many, many years, the kick drum sound that I would use was our low pass gate with nothing passing into it and just plucking it with a sharp trigger. And what that would do is it would make it self-oscillate very quickly and then very quickly die off based on the decay curve of the Vactrol that was in it. So that what we did, the dynamic impulse filter, we made sure that we carried over that functionality. And then that became my kick drum for a long time. So it was obvious then what we were going to base our kick drum off of when it came time to design one ourselves. And at the core, this is that dynamic impulse filter pinging that filter very quickly, but this one is sort of hyper specialized to offer a nice range of sounds, whereas the dynamic impulse filter, it kind of made one sound. It was an awesome sound, but it only made one sound. So this gives some range there, which is very nice. The Llama and the Polar Bear, all the drum sounds really cut through. Michael and Perry did a great job with these drums. I didn't have as much to do with these as I normally have. I'm normally extremely hands-on with everything, to the point of sort of transcribing the circuits and adding to the circuits and modifying them and then laying out the PCBs. But the drums were Michael Johnson and Perry. And I would sit in on the listening sessions and I would have, thoughts, but they're the ones that really voiced it. Perry did an amazing job of going through these things and making sure that what Nicol was trying to get across really did come across. So it was a lot of fun to watch those two work together. These modules have to, the Safari modules are all purchased through our website. We do ship to the EU, but they're not available in the EU specifically. Everything comes through Pittsburgh Modular. We ship it out the door at our place. So it will be an import. I feel like I want to steal maybe not. I keep going back to this sound and it keeps not doing it for me. So what I'll do is just throw a bunch of reverb on it. And that'll solve all the problems, right? Alright, so it didn't hurt. Def Jeff says, if I could be a fly on the wall in a Pittsburgh listening session, sounds fun. It is fun. We recently remodeled our shop, and now we have 2 nice comfy chairs to sit in, which makes it awesome. But our shop is really just one big room. We built a little test bench and a couple walls to help with sound, and then a couple comfy chairs. It's very nice. Def Jeff asks, what does PGH stand for? PGH stands for Pittsburgh. That's how we abbreviate Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh. Yeah, there's nothing else to it than that. I was surprised I'm always surprised how often I get that question, because it's growing up in Pittsburgh, living here my whole life, it seems like that's something you're just born knowing, but clearly that's people from anywhere else in the world, anywhere else in the country. You know, why would they know that? So that's a fine question to ask. Bill says it's a weird way to shorten it, and I kind of agree. I kind of wonder if it's because those are the sort of harsh letters in the name. I don't know. Maybe I'll do some research on that, because now I'm kind of curious. I'll have to consult the Book of Pittsburgh, which I have up on the shelf in my office, as any good Pittsburgher does. No, actually, the airport code for Pittsburgh is PIT. Because nothing needs to make sense. Yeah, the Elephant it's really wide-ranging in what you can do with it. It can do tom sounds, it can do that deep 808 kick sound if you want it to. It can do the crazy sci-fi synthy drum sounds. It was really meant to be a general purpose drum sound. And it's the one out of all the drums that really wasn't meant to be an analog synthesis version of a real thing. It really was meant to be, because we were dialing these other sounds in so tightly, we wanted a sound that was a lot more general purpose with a lot more range to it. And that is what the Elephant / Cardinal is. It absolutely could chirp. Jeff asks, will we release the mixer with the pan on it? Yes, we will. And there's actually 2 versions of this that are going to come out. They're going to come out at the same time. And they both have, they're different, but they both have exactly the same panel. The text on it's slightly different. And that's another, I thought it was funny to have 2 different modules with the exact same panel. And the other one is the same 4-channel mixer, but instead of pan pots, it has switches for mutes and inversions. But it still has that soft compression circuit built in that you can turn on and off. So there'll be 2 versions. I'm kind of wishing I had them both in the case right now, because I certainly could use the space. I could certainly use them in this setup, but it's all right. But everything else is the same. It has the same LEDs. The mono version can actually be split into two channel mixers and broken out if you want to use it that way. Where this one is always a 4-channel mixer. That's because you have the left and the right out, where the other one, you would have the 1+2 out and then the 3+4 out. And if you don't use the 1+2 out, the second output is the 1, 2, 3, and 4 output. I just made that sound way more confusing than it is, but it's getting late. Matthew, thank you very much. I appreciate it. That's very kind. Electrosonic Sound Audio says this sounds so nice right here, and I agree. Nicol asks, will Pittsburgh be getting into 1U? Very excited for the next 3 Safari modules. We will not be getting into 1U. We're going to stick with 3U. I think 3U is too small. 1U is so small. It's too small. It's my opinion. But I don't want to design for 1U. It's just too small for me. So we're going to go 3U and bigger. A lot of the stuff we have coming out isn't a U. It is what it is. It's the size it needed to be. Some of it is, we have a mixer, a Safari mixer coming up at some point. That is 52 HP. But it's two rows, so it's 52, but it's 6U or 2 3U units that go, you use them together. So I'm bigger. Nice, Joel. I love that the wobbly, guitar string sound is the snare drum through the local florist. And to be fair, it could probably be anything through the local florist and you're going to get that particular sound, but it's just fun that it's a snare drum. No, Bill, they're 52 each. So it's 2 52 HP modules that make up the mixer. They both work. You can use them independently of each other, and you don't need to have both of them. But they were designed to be the second half of each other. They're designed to work together. I can't imagine a ton of people are going to have both of them. You you would need a giant case for it to make sense. Like in the 744 case that we have coming out, in that case it makes sense. But, you know, it's something like in a 360, it would be 25% of the case would be, 30% of the case would be this mixer. And that's, I don't see a reason. But you certainly could use just the top half or just the bottom half, and they both, the bottom half's more of a traditional style mixer, where the top half is, it's a little weirder. We had some, a friend of mine, it was his idea, and he had some sort of pseudo-bonkers ideas on doing a mixer. So we kind of helped him realize this idea, and you'll see. It's weird. Not one that I think is going to be particularly popular just because it's so big. You really do have to have a case. Now, if you do have a big case, it's awesome. But that's for the future. That one will be probably fall. That one's not a Safari module. It actually, because I sort of fell in love with this thing, and I was like, no, I want this to match the Voltage Lab 2. So it uses the same design language as the Voltage Lab 2, and because of that, even though it's finished, I can't show it, because I don't want to give away the secrets. Because the synthesizers we're working on don't use, they're not Safari synthesizers. As awesome as that would be, the synthesizers are very understated and very minimal. Even much more so than like the Voltage Lab. I think they're everyone that's seen it is absolutely beautiful. So it's I think of modules as kind of like guitar pedals, where you can kind of have fun with them, and you know they can all be different because nobody has them. Most people don't have a case of just one consistent brand. Maybe if you have like a Mutable Instruments case or a Make Noise case or something. But most people have a mixture of modules from a mixture of brands. And if you do that, if they're going to be mixed in, I kind of like the idea that some of them are kind of fun and silly. But they back it up with just sounding amazing. And I think every module in this case does that. They both make me smile, and they just are really good at what they do. I like how the CV into the cymbal here, it's almost like someone's kind of dumping out sand onto a plate or something. They're kind of shaking it out sometimes, and sometimes it's just a slow pour. I dig that. And that's just CVing the decay with random voltage. Lisa Wombat asks, is the art for the Captain Big O based on a real person? I kind of love that module. It's not based on any person in particular, although it was absolutely inspired by a friend of mine that works in the same building that our shop is in. He is truly Captain Big O. But that said, doesn't really look anything like him, but it was absolutely inspired by him. Oh, is it really his birthday? Oh, that's wonderful. There's no chance Alexi's watching this, but happy birthday, Alexi. Cascading Florist right now, it's doing that. It's that guitar sound from Echoes, like the wailing bird sound. That's kind of what it reminds me of. I can't remember what pedal you used to do that, but that's what this sounds like. Def Jeff says the photos on the photos of the scary modules, excuse me, on the website look really great. Def Jeff, that was actually Create Audio took most of those pictures, so he did a fine job. I think I was running around like a crazy person the other day, and I think he took pity on me and decided to show me what an actual photographer could do, which I appreciate a lot. All right, guys, because Create Audio was kind enough to put in the press release for these tomorrows that I'm going to be doing a live stream tomorrow as well. I think 2.5 hours tonight, or 2 hours tonight, was a good party. I'll be back again tomorrow at 8 o'clock Eastern to do this again, although tomorrow's going to be a little bit different. I'm actually going to talk about the modules, answer questions specifically about the modules, and we will probably make a patch at the end, but it is going to be more of a walkthrough and question-answer session with the modules, and maybe some more concrete examples of what sounds it makes, where tonight we certainly use them, but they were just part of a larger patch. It wasn't a specific demo of the scary Safari modules. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I've had an absolutely wonderful time tonight. Thank you for everybody hanging out in the chat and all your questions. And for everyone that ordered modules while I was doing this, I really, really appreciate it. It's awesome, and it makes me smile that you guys are excited to help us out and support us. And you are excited to use these things in your own setups and make your own music. How cool is that? So again, thank you very much. I will be back tomorrow at 8 o'clock. And then after that, you won't see me probably until I'm going to do some reports from Superbooth.